I definitely think understanding that we had this momentum in 2024 and in 2025 when fans were not connecting, that was again the thing that we were kind of looking forward the most to see how the first cross-conference moment went and things like that. And I think it's just fair to say that was one of the things that we lost from 2024 was this kind of.
All right, I'm joined with MarkZ. After announcing that the LCS is coming back, which is awesome, the fan erupted. Like everyone was just so happy. It was the loudest cheer of like the past 2 days.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, like, how hard was it to make it happen, and like, was this based on like the fan sentiment? Like, what led to this?
Yeah, it's definitely based off fan sentiment and reaction across the year. It was a lot of work to get back to. I mean, by the time this video is coming out, we're embargoed, so I can say all the changes, getting the slots back and separating the conferences to leagues again and all that. It did take coordination with global and the different teams and whatnot, but it was something that we're happy to do. Once we, in the middle of the year, we had been tracking the reception to Split 1. We made some adjustments between Split 1 and 2. Those didn't seem like they were going to get it to a spot where fans were going to be happy. So that's when we started digging deeper into what we could do. If we're going to bring the LCS back and the CBLOL back, like what does that mean? It has to mean the slots are returned and getting back to what they had in 2024 in each league.
So I actually want to start from 2024 because that's kind of when you came in summer. The changes that you made, like following the fan sentiment and all that stuff, especially with the content, it really resonated with LCS fans, and it felt like the project that you started on was working really well. And I know you always say it's you and your team, but the project was going really well. And then you had to kind of like start all over with 2025. So maybe like, what were some of the key points that you're trying to hit with 2025? Because it was clearly different from 2024. And then maybe some of the things that didn't really hit.
Yeah, so not to retread old ground too much, but obviously heading into 2025, we talked a lot about the right sizing of the Tier 1 ecosystem, the GRP, all these sorts of things, and that was part of the motivation. But we also wanted to not just right size, but also what were the opportunities that were provided when you do that. So there was a push to look for cross-regional conferences and competition, that you can tap into before just getting to the regional moment, and can we raise the level of competition and find new interesting competitions that we just hadn't seen before. And so that was where this kind of idea of the conferences and this ability to create new rivalries kind of came from. And what we saw across the year was, maybe people would be happy to engage in those, but not at the cost of what felt like they had lost after the year. So whether that was the scope of their formats and these sorts of things, or the international appearances, and that's where we had to really go back to the drawing board. I do think, funnily enough, as this weekend is going on, we made all these changes a couple weeks ago, and so we finally got the green light on doing all this. So didn't know how this event was going to go, but I think, funnily enough, we could say maybe the competitive angle did actually work. With Split 1, it was a huge stomp, but we knew it was going to be built across time. We had the boot camp in Split 2, and then this event in Split 3. And it is closer than it was in Split 1. So maybe that part did work, and so it is interesting, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be more important than what the fans are looking for with the regional representation and that sort of thing. That
was my next question. It's just more about fan sentiment. Because like I said, 2024, even co-streamers, everyone was just like, man, the LCS is so great. It's back. We're having a lot of fun. We're enjoying it. And it felt like it wasn't there this year. Mm-hmm. Like from what you guys have seen, is it mainly the fact that we have like 3 splits, or is it format? Was it the the LTA, the rebrand? Like, where do you feel was the big reason for why the fan sentiment is the way it is? Because at least from my perspective, it seems like we lost a lot of what we built up in 2024.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, my brain just went blank for a second.
No problem.
Yeah, I think it was something where we were measuring fan sentiment the whole time and trying to keep track of what people were having the biggest issues with. And I definitely think understanding that we had this momentum in 2024 and in 2025 when fans were not connecting, that was again the thing that we were kind of looking forward the most to see how the first cross-conference moment went and things like that. And I think it's just fair to say that was one of the things that we lost from 2024 was this kind of, I wouldn't call it grassroots, because obviously we're not exactly grassroots, but it did feel like there was more participation. I think it was death by paper cuts in a sense, or not paper cuts, but like, I don't think you can pinpoint one single thing as like, this was the issue, because if it was just that, we would fix just that one. Clearly, we're making more steps than just that. So the brand, LCS and CBLOL both have long histories for those, the regions and fan bases, and and moving away from that, was a risk. And the fact that it wasn't replaced by something that they felt was better, obviously is going to hurt. The reason it wasn't better around the formats, around the shorter feeling regional splits to make space for the cross-conference moments, like these sorts of things all contributed, I think, to that kind of souring that occurred in the community. And we take that seriously, and that's why we're trying to go back to a moment that fans were happy with it, as well as there are some things that we're keeping from 2025. The 3 splits with first stand still being there in 2026. We're obviously going to have something in split 1, as well as we will have the Latam partner will have the promo rel. I think these are things we're still waiting to see how the promo rel exactly nets out, because that's next week.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that fans are excited about, and so I think there are these sorts of things that we'll be able to keep.
All right, and the last thing here is that last year you were a lot more involved with the community of like you would do AMAs and you have a lot of streams, and we kind of missed that this year, and it felt like we changed our identity and lost some like connection with the LTA. So was that just, I'm sure you're very busy, but is that something we can expect to come back? Is that something you guys are looking at?
Definitely, yeah. It's something I'd love to do more so. I think in split 1 and split 2, or maybe the first half of split 2, I was still around a little bit more. I had my appearances on the dive, went over the changes between split 1 and split 2. But once we continued to see the sentiment go down, that's when it was like, okay, I need to dig a little bit deeper. I don't think I can just pop up and convince people that they love this thing now. And I think it was a choice to refocus on fixing the core problems before trying to go out there and be a spokesperson again, which, I think, assuming this goes well and everyone's happy, I want to keep pushing that and find ways to interact with the community, give them visibility, insight, just joke around again, since it's been a while. I think just bring all that stuff back.
All right, well, thank you for bringing the LCS back. We're very happy because we heard the crowd, and hopefully we regain our identity and we can move forward from there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think I choked that interview. I came in a lot more prepared than what I showed, and I felt like when I started asking questions, my brain kind of just, went blank. And then like he'd answer some questions and I'd have follow-up questions, but then I'd like just go to the next question. I don't know. I feel like I choked that. I definitely had more prepared, specifically about just like the LCS and whatnot. But yeah, it happens sometimes. I'm a little sad because you don't necessarily get this opportunity all the time. And like he was a really cool guy. Like he was very like chill. Everybody that I interviewed, everybody that I talked to was just like really open and chill, and I never really felt intimidated by anyone or felt like they were like pushing you off. Like, yeah, I don't know. I definitely should have done a little bit better job at it. But we go next. I'll try my best next time to just give a better interview. Like he gave me, 15 minutes of a time. I should have done better. But it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.